Changes that seem small and unimportant at first will compound into remarkable results if you're willing to stick with them for years. In the long run, the quality of our lives often depends on the quality of our habits. With the same habits, you'll end up with the same results. But with better habits, anything is possible. It was gradual evolution, a long series of small wins and tiny breakthroughs. I had never considered myself a master of a topic, but rather someone who was experimenting alongside my readers. If you can get 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. What starts as a small win or a minor setback accumulates into something much more. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The same way that money multiplies through interest. Habits seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. It is only when looking back 2, 5, or perhaps 10 years that the value of good habits and the cost of bad ones become strikingly apparent. We often dismiss small changes because they don't seem to matter very much in the moment. We make a few changes, but the results never seem to come quickly, and so we slide back into our previous routines. When we repeat 1% errors, day after day, by replicating poor decisions, duplicating tiny mistakes, and rationalizing little excuses, our small choices compound into toxic results. A slight change in your daily habits can guide your life to a very different destination. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformation. What matters is whether your habits are putting you on the path toward success. If you want to predict where you'll end up in life, all you have to do is follow the curve of tiny gains or tiny losses, and see how your daily choices will compound 10 or 20 years down the line. You should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. Time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. Habits are a double-edged sword. Bad habits can cut you down just as easily as good habits can build you up. The more tasks you can handle without thinking, the more your brain is free to focus on other areas. Learning one new idea won't make you a genius, but a commitment to lifelong learning can be transformative. Bamboo can barely be seen for the first 5 years as it builds extensive root systems underground before exploding 90 feet into the air within 6 weeks. Habits often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold and unlock a new level of performance. In the early and middle stages of any quest, there is often a valley of disappointment. It's a hallmark of any compounding process. The most powerful outcomes are delayed. I began to realize that my results had very little to do with the goals I set and nearly everything to do with the systems I followed. If you want better results, then forget about setting goals. Focus on your system instead. Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. A handful of problems arise when you spend too much time thinking about your goals and not enough time designing your system. If successful and unsuccessful people share the same goals, then the goal cannot be what differentiates the winners from the losers. It was only when they implemented a system of continuous small improvements that they achieved a different outcome. When you fall in love with the process rather than the end product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. Ultimately, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. Bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. The ultimate form of intrinsic motivation is when a habit becomes part of your identity. It's one thing to say I'm the type of person who wants this. It's something very different to say I'm the type of person who is this. It is hard to change your habits if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behavior. The more pride you have in a particular aspect of your identity, the more motivated you'll be to maintain the habits associated with it. Good habits can make rational sense, but if they conflict with your identity, you will fail to put them into action. You are not born with your present beliefs. Every belief, including those about yourself, is learned and conditioned through experience. In this way, the process of building habits is actually the process of becoming yourself. Small habits can make a meaningful difference by providing evidence of a new identity. If you keep casting the same votes you've always cast, you're going to get the same results you've always had. The focus should always be on becoming that type of person, not getting a particular outcome. You need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, your quest for change is like a boat without a rudder. You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. Fundamentally, habits are not about having something. They are about becoming someone. Habits reduce cognitive load and free up mental capacity, so you can allocate your attention to other tasks.